Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at game number 1 in our 20 from 1995 series. But before we do that, we are going to look at the honorable mentions list, the games that did not quite make the top 20 list. And there are a bunch of them, so let's go ahead and dive into them. To start off, we're going to look at 19XX The War Against Destiny, which is part of the 1942 series, and this was created by Capcom. It's a pretty good continuation of the series. I think I remember seeing this in the arcades back then. And next we're going to look at Air Combat 22 by Namco, and this is the sequel to Air Combat. 22 refers to the hardware, Namco System 22. And it's got much smoother 3D graphics than its predecessor. Sorry for the scrunched screen, but man, it looks really nice, the animation. And next we're going to look at Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, created by Ben Presto and a company called Gazelle, and it's a beat-em-up, and it looks wonderful, plays wonderful, and it's got the characters from the anime Sailor Moon. It's very cool. And here's just Sailor Moon. She makes all the kind of annoying sounds that she does in the anime. She's kind of a dingus. But there's also some magic moves you can make with certain crystals that you collect. Pretty cool. I like it. Now we're going to look at Cool Riders. And this was created by Sega. And this is actually part of the Outrun series. Except you're on a motorbike and it's got kind of a drag race parachute on it. You can make some nice jumps in this, and you can choose different paths to take, like in some of the Outrun games. Nice jumps, too. And now we're going to take a look at, I like the rainbow in the Niagara Falls there. Now we're going to look at Decathlete, and this was also created by Sega, or their AM3 division. And this is kind of Sega's answer to Track and Field, but it has 3D graphics. Kind of looks nice. I don't really remember this in arcades. But all the familiar events, long jump, whatever, dash, shot put, etc. Looks pretty cool. And now we're going to look at Dirt Dash. This is a racing game by Namco. It's kind of some of the vehicles might have been kind of off-roadish, but I love the trolleys on this stage. The stage settings are really cool looking in this. And there's some nice jumps to make. Pretty cool. I don't remember seeing this, but I like it. Snowy setting. And now we're going to look at Domepachi by Cave and Atlas. And this is a wonderful shooter. Vertically scrolling shooter. Some nice power-ups. Nice smooth graphics. I really like this one. I almost put this in my top 20. That hexagonal look is kind of a motif of this game. And now let's look at Dragoon Might, and this is a beat-em-up by Konami versus beat-em-up. Nice graphics. I kind of dig this. It's got some kind of zoom effects like in Samurai Showdown. Some of the settings are really quite cool. I do not remember coming across this in arcades. I like that setting on top of a moving friggin' airplane. Cool. Now we're going to look at Fighting Vipers, and this was created by Sega on their AM2, or by their AM2 division. And it's a caged versus beat-em-up. And actually knock the opponent through the cage like that. Isn't that cool? Now we're going to look at Galaxy Fight, and this is for the Neo Geo by Sunsoft. It's a beat 'em up. It's got some kind of cool moves. I don't remember coming across this in arcades, but a number of people have definitely heard of this one. I like the cat girl there. And then we're going to look at Golden Tee Golf, or Golden Tee 3D Golf. This is by Incredible Technologies, and this has Peter Jacobsen in it.
Golden Tee 3D
Portland's
Golf,
own Peter Jacobsen, PGA golfer.
Spots vary.
It's got it definitely improved graphics over previous entries in the series.
Yeah, do that. Let's go over that fucking bunker.
And commentary. I like it. The Golden Tee series is still going strong. And now we're going to look at Indy 500. This was created by Sega's AM1 division. It's a racer. It's very smooth looking. I like it. And it has a rolling start just like Daytona USA. Man, the racing games were so good in the 90s. Looks nice. I like the tree cover there. That's pretty cool. And now we're going to look at Jackie Chan in Fists of Fire. And this is the upgraded version over Jackie Chan the Kung Fu Master. It's the versus beat 'em up. It doesn't have very smooth graphics. Shake what your mama gave you. But it's kind of got a cool focus on downed opponent attacks. And you can play as Jackie Chan himself. And he's kind of cool in this game. Whether he wins or loses, he's very humble, or he has a humble pose. Kind of cool. This was created by Namco. And that is the original version. The Kung Fu Master Jackie Chan, or whatever it's called. And now we're going to look at Kabuki Clash, and this was for the Neo Geo. This is created by a company called Dinny or something, and Hudson Soft. And there's some characters with animals that attack. Nice graphics. I like this. It's got some funny characters in it. And now we're going to look at the King of Fighters 95, the second game in the King of Fighters series. This is created by SNK for the Neo Geo. And it's very similar to 94. It's got some, might have all of the same teams. Improved graphics, or improved animation in the graphics. And there's Andy Bogard from Fatal Fury. Now we're going to look at Manx TT Superbike, and this is another great racing game. This is a motorcycle racing game. Very smooth graphics. Boy, this is beautiful. I can't do terribly well in MAME with this. Boy, such wonderful, smooth graphics. It's definitely a must. And now we're going to look at Mega Man Power Battle. And this is from the Mega Man series. This is created by Capcom. You can choose more than just Mega Man. You can choose Proto Man, or one of the other robots, and you can play against the robot bosses from the Mega Man games. Multiple Mega Man games from the NES, including Dr. Wily and his bosses. Really cool, and you can use enemies' powers against them. And this is Namco Classic Collection Volume 1 by Namco, and this features three games, Galaga, Xevious, and Mappy, and you can play original versions of them, or you can play upgraded versions of them with new graphics, maybe new power-ups and stuff. Really cool. And you can continue to upgrade your ship in the Galaga special one by keep getting captured. And here is an upgraded version of Xevious where you can get power-ups. And there's an upgraded version of Mappy. Pretty cool. There was a Volume 2 with some new games. But next we're going to look at Railbout Fatal Fury. This is another entry in the Fatal Fury series. This is for the Neo Geo by SNK. Really nice graphics. The only thing I don't like about this, and it is kind of a big one, is you can get a ring out and lose immediately. I don't like that. Other than that, great graphics. And now we're going to look at Samurai Showdown 3. This is another entry in the Samurai Showdown series. This was created by SNK for the Neo Geo. It's also called Samurai Showdown 3 Blades of Blood. Very, very good sequel. So how Maru, one of the, probably the main representative of the series. And now we're going to look at Savage Rain, and this is another versus fighting game for the Neo Geo by SNK. I like this because you can jump up to a higher level or drop or stay at a lower level and attack your opponent from below or above. Very cool, and there's some funny finishing moves too. There was a sequel called Kizuna Encounter. Sometimes you'll be forced to drop down from above, and this is Speed Racer. Sorry, I didn't put in the marquee here, but the sound doesn't work very well in MAME. Sorry, but this is based on the, of course, anime and manga Speed Racer, and it's a racing game, and the graphics aren't perfected in MAME at this point, but you can use special weapons to take out your opponent racers. Kind of cool. That was by Namco. And now we're going to look at Stakes Winner, and this is a horse racing game by Saurus for the Neo Geo. And this is very cute. You try to win races. Sometimes you can get little power-ups on the track. The races are very short, usually, and there is you can whip your horse to make it move faster, but you don't want to tire it out. And there are also bonus stages that will give your horse greater strength or endurance. I like this, it's cute. Now we're going to look at Street Fighter the movie, the game created by Capcom, and it features the characters from the pretty bad Street Fighter movie. But they do moves from the games, from the previous games. Rest in peace, Raul Julia. But next we're going to look at Strikers 1945, and this was created by Seikyo. This is the first game in a series of shoot-'em-ups. This is not related to 1942 or any of its other games in that series, I believe. Nice graphics, though. Nice power-ups. There are bullet hole moments for sure. Next we're going to look at Twin Bee Yahoo, and this is by Konami. This is the last Twin Bee arcade game, and it plays much more like the first Twin Bee game than others in the series. It's very cutesy. I kind of like the anime a little bit. There weren't very many episodes of the anime, I don't think. Cutesy graphics, and the bells, the power-up bells are back. I think they were in every game in the series. And then lastly, well, you'll see a couple of bosses. Some of them are very silly, some of them are kind of creepy. And there are some kind of anime-like cutscenes in this game. I dig this. I dig the Twin Bee series. There's also a game called Stinger for the NES that was part of the Twin Bee series. Lastly, we're going to look at Zombie Raid, and this was created by American Sammy. And this is a rail shooter. You get to blow up zombies into gooey bits. Who doesn't love that? Creepy settings. Cemeteries and a mad scientist lab. But now we're going to look at game number 1, and it is Soul Edge, created by Namco. is the first in a long series of games which includes the Soul Calibur games. This was called Soul Blade for the PlayStation. And you have an 8-way joystick and 4 buttons. 2 of them attack, and one is a kick, and one is a guard button. Well, this is a weapons-based fighting game. It's not the first, but it's pretty darn good. I mean, Samurai Showdown came out before this, and it was excellent. But for a 3D versus fighting game, this was the first really good one. And there are 8 different fighters that you can choose from. And as I mentioned before, there are 4 buttons and an 8-way joystick. 2 of the buttons are attack buttons, and one attacks with horizontal strikes, and one attacks with vertical strikes. And then there is a kick button, and then there is a guard button. And as was common with a lot of the versus fighting games, you can do special attacks with the joystick and certain button combinations. And you can throw the opponent or do some special close-up attack if you are close and you press an attack, I think the first attack button and the guard button together. Now, I apologize that the audio isn't. It's a little jittery sometimes. This is still not perfectly captured by MAME. If you choose a character with, I think, the guard button, then you can use their alternate costume. There is a meter below the life bar of your character, or the opponent, and if you press both attack buttons and kick together, then you will do what is called a critical edge move. It can be blocked, it can be dodged, and it takes a little teeny bit of a warm-up, so keep that in mind. And there are attacking downed opponent moves, too. This is Taki. I like her. She's a kunoichi, or female ninja. She's very quick, very agile. She is notoriously boob bouncy in the home ports, or in perhaps in later entries in the Soul Edge series, which would later be known as Soul Calibur. But for being the very first game in this series, wow, is it visually impressive. I love the backgrounds are really cool, or the stage settings. This is Voldo, and he's a blind guy with claws.
You win.
Yeah, Taki's bust is just like way over proportioned in later games or in home ports of this. This was most notably ported to the PlayStation, and it doesn't look nearly as good on the PlayStation. It's very polygony, but it has a lot of cool features that are not present in the arcade game. You get, I think, what was it, 40 seconds to defeat your opponent, and there are ring outs. You can be knocked out of the ring, or your opponent can be knocked out of the ring. I'm not usually a big fan of that. Now, something I didn't mention yet is if you want to dodge, you need to press down twice quickly. I like the control scheme for this game. Unfortunately, using it on my D-pad isn't very. It doesn't work terribly well. If I wanted to do critical edge, sometimes it doesn't seem to register the way I have it set up. But again, critical edge is when you press both attack buttons and kick together. And that will deplete some of your critical edge meter, which is just under your life bar. And it will restore in between fights. On stages like this on the water, like Li Long's raft. I like Li Long, he's kind of cool. You can knock the opponent into the water, into the drink. And you can get knocked in there yourself, of course. I remember seeing this in arcades. I was pretty impressed. I ended up getting it for my PlayStation a couple years later. There is a second version of this game for arcades called version 2, and it was released the following year in 1996. And it has some interesting updates, additions. We'll look at those a little bit later. There's the penultimate boss in this game can be played, or you can play as him, and his name is Cervantes. He's a pirate.
Out of the ring. The grueling battle ended with the victory of
And that character is called Mitsurugi, and he's like a samurai type.
Battle 1. Fight.
And yes, there is a mirror match. You will have to fight yourself. Yeah, just simply moving around a little bit, or ducking, or anything in the home port and possibly later entries in this series had Taki's boobs just bouncing all over the place. It's ridiculous.
Draw.
Oh, yep. We had a double KO.
Final battle. Fight.
But yeah, the PlayStation port was released in 1997. This game was released at the end of 1995. Like I said, there is a version 2 released in 1996. It lets you play as not only Cervantes, the second to last boss in this game, but you can also play as a character called Huang, who is not in this game at all. And there's also a time attack mode,
Knockout.
a different way to use alternate costumes.
Ended with the victory of Taki.
It shows the music track at the bottom of the screen during your fight. There are new moves, new stages. Not all new stages and not all new moves, but there's also guard impacts and air combos, and it costs 3 credits. This game ran on the System 11 hardware. Namco System 11. This is definitely one of the more notable entries in Namco's history. And again, this spawned a really long series of games. Started out as Soul Edge. For the PlayStation, this was called Soul Blade. I'm not sure why, but later on in this series, it started to be called Soul Calibur. This is Seung Mina, a gal that has a, what is it called, a Yari bladed spear. She's from Korea. I don't remember north or south, probably south. If you press either horizontal or vertical attack like 3 times quickly, you'll do like a series of attacks. Some characters might have more than 3 real quick attacks. And again, you can throw your opponent by getting in close and pressing the first attack, which is the horizontal attack, and guard together. But you have to be close, of course. Each character has just a ridiculous library of moves. And then there is a critical edge move. And again, to do the critical edge, you need to have enough critical edge on your meter. You press the first attack button and the second attack button and kick together. And then you can add some additional inputs to prolong the attack, like maybe up, down, A and B together, something like that. Yeah, sorry this might not be synced up perfectly at times. Like I was saying, it has some issues through MAME sometimes. Like I said, I like the settings for the stages, and I like the wheat field or whatever this is, or whatever type of grass this is, blowing around in the wind. Pretty cool. I don't think I actually played this when I saw it in the arcades. I think I still had nostalgia for older games, and it was and the arcade had like a free section of much older games, and so I was playing that instead of this. Yeah, you can hit the buttons to cycle through the seconds quicker, but I will pick up generally where I left off with some cheats. Yeah, again, sorry, this is a little bit off. If you've played this, what's your favorite character? There are Rock, which is a big old wrestler type with a giant axe and a bear skin. Then there's Taki, the kunoichi with a sizable chest. Bigger in some versions than others. This is Sophitia, and she's like a Greek, maybe priestess type, with a sword and sandals and a shield. At least in the PlayStation port, one of her weapons that she can wield, I think, is the blue rod and the blue rod shield, which is from the Tower of Druaga. That's a pretty big fall. But there's also Mitsurugi, the samurai, Siegfried, which I think I fought first. And here is Cervantes the pirate. He's very, very quick, very strong. There are some times when your weapon choice and the time that you swung can coincide with that of your opponent. And at that time, you might lock blades, and you might have to out button mash your opponent, or maybe you might have to do a different, or play rock paper scissors with the attack that you use, and yours might beat theirs, or theirs might be beat yours by knocking you over, or you might repel each other because you might have had the same exact attack.
The grueling battle ended with the victory of Taki.
Siegfried is a young soldier, a young German soldier who's tormented by, I think he killed his father or something. And once you beat Cervantes, it's not over. This this revenant type fills up his armor. Now the goal of Soul Edge is to get to the end, and you'll capture the fabled Soul Edge sword or swords, and Taki forges herself a new weapon out of that, and that sword can turn you mad, I guess. Yeah, Soul Edge has some cool, has a cool charge attack, in which he just flies right at you, kind of like Bison's, was it Psycho Crush or something? We'll just scoot forward to me beating him and getting my ending. And you'll get to put in your initials. Provided that you didn't take forever and took way longer than the times on the high score list. And yes, you get an ending. And it opens up in a book, and pretty cool. Tells about how she forges a new weapon out of the Soul Edge. But that is Soul Edge by Namco in 1995, late 1995. Like I said, we'll have a brief look at Soul Edge version 2, which was released in 1996. And again, you can play as the character Huang. You can also play as Cervantes. There are air combos, guard impacts. I'm not entirely sure what those entail. There are some new moves for at least some of the characters. There are some new stages. Cost you a whopping 3 credits to play. It displays the music track during a stage. And instead of pressing guard to change your costume, you just press down. You'll see the alternate costumes below the list of characters that you can select from. And there's a cool time attack mode. It's just, total. It's not super special. It's just a total amount of time added on from each fight, and the quickest that you got through that, that'll hopefully put you in first place on the list. And I thank you for putting up with my 20 list. I know it's kind of a lot to follow, but I enjoy this look back at 1995. And coming up soon will be the year 1996. Uh, 1996 was a big year for me. I went to the Olympics in Atlanta. Got to see some events. That was really cool, even though Atlanta was... Oh, it was so hot. But we will look at a 20 from 1996 list coming up. I hope you will join me for that. And we will have ourselves a look at Soul Edge version 2. Excuse me. And yeah, you can see it takes 3 credits, and we will see Huang, the character that you can select in this game. And again, you can also select the sub-boss from the last game, or from Soul Edge version 1. You can play as Cervantes in this. Here's a little look at Huang during the demo. And it tells you how to do the time attack mode. You have to press A attack, B attack, and kick together. And do it here as you go into the character select mode. And there it says time attack mode. And yeah, you can press down just to look at the alternate costume for each character and select it if you wish. So there are a total of 10 characters you can select from this one. Yeah, again, sorry for the kind of annoying sound glitches. This wasn't perfect in MAME, and MAME continues to try to work out the kinks in 3D fighting games. It's not perfect, I apologize.
Battle 1, fight.
And yeah, sometimes it gets glitchy and then tries to correct itself in mid-battle.
You win. Battle 1, fight.
We're not gonna do a full playthrough, no way. There's Siegfried. We'll scoot forward to looking at it. Yeah, it shows exactly how it's keeping track of each battle, how quickly you won it, how you won it, etc. And it's got a bunch of stats. It shows the final completion time. That's essentially time attack mode. Other than the things that I described, the game is really pretty much the same as version 1. This version was released in 1996, and that is a series that we're going to get to pretty soon. Really looking forward to all the trivia that I can jam into the time capsules for 1996, which are for game number 20 and game number 10. This time I call myself RS, and one of the symbols there, I think I used star. But this was version 2 of Soul Blade, or Soul Edge, excuse me. Again, it was called Soul Blade for the PlayStation, and I don't know why. But I bought it, and I really enjoyed it, and that was released in, I think, really early 1997 for the PlayStation. Here we're going to see Seong Mina in the opening here. But this was version 2 of Soul Edge, released in 1996. And for most of this video, we saw Soul Edge from 1995 by Namco. Well, this was game number 1, Soul Edge by Namco. I thank you for joining me for my 20 from 1995 series. And I hope you join me soon for my 20 from 1996 series. See you then, everybody. Bye-bye.